Many had criticised CNN for hosting the serial fabricator Donald Trump in prime time.
Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump.
And from the moment he strolled out on stage to rapturous Republican applause, their worst fears were realised. For within minutes, the former president was relentlessly rolling out the same old script of alternative facts, starting, predictably, with the big lie of the stolen election.
That was a rigged election, and it's a shame that we had to go through it. It's very bad for our country. All over the world, they looked at it.
As the world witnessed these scenes of horror on January the 6th, when a pro-Trump mob stormed the U.S. Capitol.
They were there proud. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable and it was a beautiful day.
He even went so far as to hint he'd probably pardon the rioters.
If I get in, I will most likely, I would say it will be a large portion of them.
To the delight of the audience. And if anyone believed Trump would be chastened by a New York jury's verdict that he had sexually assaulted this female columnist in the mid-90s, this was his frivolous response.
What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay?
Cue more fawning laughter.
No, but think of it. Think of it.
That set the tone for an excruciating evening. A controversial decision by CNN's new boss to give Trump a platform to speak to voters as the leading Republican candidate ahead of the 2024 election.
I think it was a profoundly irresponsible decision. What we saw tonight was a series of extremely irresponsible decisions that put a sexual abuse victim at risk, that put that person at risk in front of a national audience, and I could not have disagreed with it more. It was shameful.
Any chance to hold Trump accountable was squandered as the audience was stacked with his supporters who dealt him one soft question after the other.
I love that question. It's such an important question, such a great question. First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice.
And when CNN's own media correspondent concluded it was hard to see how America was served by the spectacle of lies that aired on his channel, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
It's morning again in America.
Ahead of the town hall, Trump's campaign aired its latest Biden attack ad.
Why would we ever accept the incompetence and weakness of Biden when we could have the freedom, security, and economic prosperity we enjoyed just 3 years ago?
And Biden's response to the CNN debacle? It's simple, folks. Do you want 4 more years of that? Their reply, at least, was a resounding yes. Now, the other big election issue that Trump was keen to beat Biden with last night was immigration and the dire situation at the US-Mexican border. I think you can see images of what's happening there right now. It's not new, of course, but it is set to get dramatically worse because midnight tonight sees the end of so-called Title 42, which is a law that was put in place by Trump during the pandemic that prevented migrants from seeking asylum in the US on the grounds of preventing the flow of COVID. Well, that has led to chaos and confusion. Thousands of Central and South Americans have rushed to the border to try and get across. People are wading through the river, carrying babies in suitcases on their heads, and they're being met with a surge, a new surge of Border Patrol, who in some cases are physically pushing the migrants back behind barbed wire. And the authorities up and down the border are braced for things to get a lot worse. Now, Republicans are saying that scenes like this are indicative of Biden's lax immigration rules, but Joe Biden says that he is due to put in place new measures that will be as restrictive, if not more, than before. But so desperate are these migrants that still they keep coming.